So in order to have a life of purpose and meaning, you have to protect the life of works. Or uncontentment, or discontentment, or unfulfillment, or unsatisfactory will gnaw away at your life. I heard a story of a tree in Colorado had fallen. The botanist went over to look at the tree to find out after 400 years what made it fall. The botanist realized that the tree had been struck by lightning 14 times. That didn't make it fall. Had survived 2 or 3 earthquakes. That didn't make it fall. Had been through many storms in Colorado. That didn't make it fall. 400 years, he wanted to find out what made the tree fall. But he took a closer look and realized it was a beetle. Had been gnawing away at the tree for years. And that little beetle, unchecked, unremoved, undealt with, gnawing away, eating 1/100 of a millimeter of tree a day, gnawing away, and over time it fell. If you don't use your spiritual gift, that life of incontentment, that life of unfulfillment will gnaw away. And gnaw away. And even though the gift will not remain, but your life will soon collapse. From unfulfilled. And you will become bitter and stagnant and jealous and vindictive and insecure because other people are progressing and you're stagnant.
Listen at you.
You've got to, when you're exercising your gift, God is moving and exercising His power through you, and you don't have room and space for jealousy. You find a person always nitpicking, always finding fault, always making excuses, got too much time. Oh, yeah, right. Because if you're busy doing the will and the work of God, you don't have time to deal with all those issues. Listen, if you give yourself to the greater things of life, then God will take care of the lesser things of life. That's what He means when He says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all of this righteousness, and all of this stuff will be added. That is, if you give yourself to the greater things of life, seeking the kingdom, God will take care of the lesser things of life, adding that stuff. I've never set out to be successful financially in preaching. Never. I've set out to do the will of God. God has taken care of the rest. It's like I heard a story of a dog that said that happiness was in his tail. So it was running around in circles trying to catch his tail, trying to catch happiness. And somebody asked the dog, what are you doing? I'm trying to catch happiness. Happiness is in my tail. They said, if you just walk straight, then happiness will follow behind you. My point is, if you just do what you're supposed to do, then happiness will just follow behind you. Yes, sir.
Get in line.
Just get in line. Just run your course. Just run your course. And exercise your gift.
Amen.
And God will take care of the rest. He'll take care of your enemies. He'll take care of your distractors. He'll take care of the storms. He'll take care of the stumbling blocks. He'll take care of the persecution. God will take care of it. I heard a story of a man and his wife were on a ship. And the ship encountered a storm. And And that storm had that ship bouncing on the ocean like a feather. His wife walked up to the deck of the ship and looked at her husband, and he was smiling. She said, "How can you smile when this ship is topsy-turvy on the ocean?" He pulled out his knife and stuck it in her face. And she started smiling. He said, "How can you smile when I'm holding a knife in your face?" She said, "Because the one who's holding the knife loves me." He said, "The reason I can smile, because the one holding this storm loves me." So if you just do what you're supposed to do, then God will hold everything else. And if you live the life and love the life and be led by the Spirit and be loyal in the life, one day the ripples of your life will reach the banks of God's judgment. And then God will call you home and say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." But every time you make progress and every time you do His will, you make another ripple. Every time you exercise His gift, you make another ripple. Every time you bring a soul to Christ, you make another ripple. And one day the ripples going to make its way to the banks and the shore of God's judgment, and He's going to call you home. And then you will have to stand before Him. Exercise the gift. Has your gift made a difference in anybody's life? Anybody? Can anybody say, "You helped me"? Can anybody say, "You changed me"? Can anybody say, "I'm here because of you"? Because when He gives you a gift, He gives you the supernatural power and the supernatural ability to accomplish what He set out for you to accomplish. And there is no greater joy than to live this life in the power and in the will of God the Father. Oh, if I had 1,000 lives, I would give everyone to Him. And if I had 1,000 tongues, I would not be able to thank Him for everything that He's done. When the president gets ready for his inauguration, he sends out 500 invitations. Those 500 invitations for those who can come to his inauguration. Then he sends out 100 invitations. The 100 invitations for those who can sit in the first 20 seats on each side. Then he sends out 50 invitations. 50 invitations for those who can sit on the first 2 rows. Then he sends out 25 invitations. 25 invitations for those who can sit up close to the banquet. Then he sends out 5 invitations. 5 invitations for those who can stand with him on the podium when he raises his hand to be sworn in. I've never been given an invitation to attend a presidential inauguration, but some glad moment. Not the President of the United States, but the President of the universe is going to send me a personal invitation. And I'm going to sit up close around the welcome and be able to walk right up to him and lay my crown at his feet. Even the 5 that the president sent to stand on the podium have to get to him through his security. But when I stand before Jesus, I'll be able to say, "Let me see the nail prints in your hand, and the nail prints in your feet, and the spear in your side, and the crown of thorns that were placed on your head." I'll be able to walk right up to him and say, "Thank you for what you've done," and put my hand in his hand and put my hand in the nail prints. I don't care who you are. There are only two people in the world that can do that to the president. That's the daughter and the wife. Everybody else has to come through security. And when I stand before Jesus, I'll be able to walk right up. Because my nature will be like his nature. My love will find its object. My faith will be turned to sight. And my hope will become a reality.